Allegedly, they managed to actually open the door to hell and summon a demon.
Neighbors claimed they practice witchcraft.
Exorcism, the casting out of demons through ritual prayer.
I was burying bodies out in the desert.
And yes, the ghosts were there with us.
Thank you for letting us in.
Welcome back to the Haunted Heart Podcast.
The Haunted Heart motherfucking podcast.
Up
y'all.
on your feed yet again. I am your best host, Katie.
And I am your worst host, Kenny.
You're supposed to
Absolutely.
say I'm your better host, Kenny, right?
No.
No, it was.
No, that was accurate. Accurate. No, most definitely accurate.
Yeah, we're back to shoot the shit yet again this week. We're
Yes.
here talking all things dark and macabre.
Talking that bullshit.
Yeah, willkommen.
What? We got a little.
Isn't that how the Germans say it?
I was gonna say we got a little German there.
Yeah.
So I don't.
I'm feeling. Apparently, I'm on cabaret vibes.
I was gonna say, yeah, a little. We're doing cabaret. There's a little cabaret
all right.
moment right there.
Mhm.
It's fine.
Yeah.
But how the hell have y'all been? Hope it's good, because obviously you're not going to respond to me because you're just listening to the show. You're not actually here.
Do you ever, when we pose questions like that are just like sort of open questions for the audience to ponder on, do you ever like imagine like somebody listening and they're just like, I've been doing fucking terrible. And we're just like, that's great to hear. Oh, good. We're glad to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. I do, actually.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Well,
I really, if you, yeah. I would hope that people would do that. I do that.
if you're doing well, Darklings, we are so happy for you. And if you're not doing well, remember that one day you will be doing well again. And you just kind of got to see it through, because we have certainly had our fair share of not doing well.
Absolutely.
It's
just
a
been like a
roller coaster.
long series of not doing well. That kind of defeats your like saying of like it's gonna get better.
You gotta hang in. Look, we're here tonight. We're here at our table. We've got our candles lit. We're here to shoot the shit, to tell some stories. And I'm excited because I'm not talking this week, which
Thank
is
God.
like new for me.
Thank God, y'all. It's fine. I saved you from baby murders and child murderers and all kinds of horrible, just dark, crazy things that just twist your mind and just make you completely afraid for humanity.
They love that, though. That's why they come here.
You sure?
Mhm.
I thought they came here for the rainbows and the smiles and
I don't
the
think
positivity, the love.
so. I mean, maybe.
I don't know where they got. I mean,
I'm
if
not
they
seeing
did,
it.
I don't know where they getting it from. I don't know. That pool's a little dry, but we are full in macabre and dark and twisty things. So we're glad to have you here while we go through it all.
Yeah.
While we go through this muck. It's just muck. That's what it is.
Just mire and muck.
Mire and muck.
Anyway.
I actually love that.
Mire and muck.
Mire and muck. I feel like that's
That's our spin-off podcast. Mire and
It's
Muck
like
might be the title of my
But if you
autobiography.
did
though.
not to take Southern Gothic's like gig that they got going on, but like if you like a Southern horror podcast and call it Mire and Muck.
Mm-hmm. I'm into that.
Welcome to the
actually.
show. My name's Mire.
I'm wildly into that. I've been getting into reading, spooky season amping up and whatnot.
Absolutely.
I have been getting into like Southern American, like horror stories, but also ghost stories. So I have been reading a great book about hauntings in Virginia and our hometown. Actually, there's two different stories. So yeah, I'm kind of on that vibe. I'm on a Mire and Muck vibe.
Mire and Muck vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of shit, No, you were talking about stories while you're over there, being cultured and literate and reading and all that bullshit. I'm over here watching the Hulu.
Yeah.
And been watching those the American Horror Stories spinoff, and it's absolute shit. I implore everyone listening, do not watch it.
I gave up.
It is absolute trash.
Yeah.
It is bullshit, and I absolutely hate it. It's supposed to be like, so, I always said that like American Horror Story should have this is kind of like the format that they should have been, which is kind of like a one episode like anthology
like Creep
type
Show.
thing. Yes.
Yeah, like Creep Show.
That's what they should have been, right?
Yes.
And this is the format that they should have done. This is how it should be. And so I was kind of like, when they first announced it, I was like, okay, interesting, right? Still shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's all for me. Anybody who has ever listened to our Netflix and Kill series, and really probably even the main show, knows my stance on Ryan Murphy. Can't fucking stand it. I think that he should let somebody who knows how to direct horror.
It's just,
it always sounds good.
yes.
And it draws you in because it sounds so good. And then it's just awful.
Yes, absolutely.
I've been done since Stevie Nicks sang.
Yeah. It,
pretty much
I
it
still
for
to
me.
this day, yes, absolutely. I pin that season as the downfall of American Horror Story.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved season 2. Season 1 got me in, but season 2 was great. And then season 3 was like the downfall, because I think that's when we got into that style over horror substance, which Ryan Murphy is very much known for. If you look at his like catalog of work when it comes to like Scream Queens, and all of that, it's very much style.
Scream Queens is another perfect example. Was very excited about Scream Queens. Knew it was going to be terrible. Guess what? It was terrible.
Right.
So it just,
it just doesn't work. He found new ways to make characters even more unlikable and and even less relevant to any part of the story, even for like a 45-minute episode. And I'm like, that like doesn't even have like another episode to go with it. It's just a one thing. Like, and you still found a way to make these characters that much more shallow.
It was like snack size hate.
Yeah. So don't watch it. Don't recommend. But anyway, that's my hate for American Horror Story corner over here. But it just kind of got me, when you talk about stories and stuff, it just kind of got me thinking about that, because, going into spooky season, we want more horror. Really excited for the new Halloween, though.
Hell yeah.
Which will be coming out. So super pumped for that. Hell yeah. So really excited. I think we've got some great horror coming out. Candyman. At this point in recording, I've yet to have seen it. So, but excited for it.
Yes, same. We should figure out when we're going to go see that, because I want to see it too.
I know. I think it's releasing this week. I don't know.
Time's
anyway,
weird.
time doesn't exist now because you don't know when we're recording. So it's, we're just in a void right now. That's what happens. Our recording studio is a void.
Mm-hmm.
And we just exist inside of the void when we're recording. And that's all you need to know.
Yeah.
They're really just like, I wish
nighttime.
you would just fucking exist at all half the time. Or just get to the fucking point.
Yeah.
But anyway, we love you and we're here to tell you a story. I'm here to tell you a
You're
story.
here to tell a story. I'm here to enjoy the story.
You are. So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
You ready? You
My
sure?
body is ready. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, you're leaned back over there. You got
I'm
your
ready.
leg, propped up on the table.
Mm-hmm. I like to get comfy.
Don't we all?
Yep.
So now let's make us uncomfortable.
Feet up, tits out, just kind of kicking back.
Amen. So, for today's topic, I wanted to drive us through a particular realm of the paranormal. I feel like it's been a minute since we've done something paranormally,
It has.
inspired. So I definitely wanted to kind of take us in that direction. You know? And what I'm going to talk about today is called projected thermography.
Wow. I just like, whoa.
Did that really just like bring it down?
I just glazed
Is it really
over.
down?
I
It
mean,
just went like,
whoop. Just like
We really just let you up there for that and then just kind of like fell a little flat, didn't we? Absolutely. Well, would the term psychic photography sound better?
Ah, Okay. Okay. I still don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't think.
I'm gonna get it. We're gonna
I feel
get
like I've
into
heard
that.
of that, but
Yeah. Psychic photography. That's what we're going to call it. It sounds like it is simultaneously the best and worst X-Men superpower you could have.
yeah.
Like, you're probably not on the front lines fighting Magneto, but you're like on the fucking yearbook committee probably.
I feel like you're the character with like the interesting haircut who is struggling with a lot of personal issues. Like you are the Klaus of the group if
Pretty
you
much.
have that superpower.
Yeah. You're like with that guy who like can just grow their eyelashes really long. Like,
Fuck, that would be a good ass
Who knows?
superpower. Eyelashes be expensive.
that is true. I would say, you know what? That'd be a great superpower. Bitch, give me them long,
certainly
luscious
very practical.
eyelashes.
Mhm.
They just grow so long that, you know, you can protect yourself from like the sun and like
They
catch
grow so
all
long that
those
you
dust-
fold them back up and like make a comb over out of it.
An asteroid comes like a horrible earth-shattering asteroid comes just belting towards us, and you just grow your eyelashes super long and you just catch it like actual
Just
eyelashes
dust
are
it away.
supposed to do and dust it away.
That was the weirdest fucking tangent.
I know. But that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. This is why they like it when I fucking tell my stories, or maybe it's why they hate it. I don't know. You tell all of the interesting, like, true crime, hard fact shit, and I'm over here talking about fucking eyelashes. I
love it. It's good.
But you might be asking me, Kenny, what exactly is the phenomenon that we call psychic photography?
Kenny, what exactly is the phenomenon that we call psychic photography? Psychic.
Oh, what? What is it? What's it called?
I want a little.
What's it called?
Psychic photography.
Psychic photography.
Psychic photography.
Well, I'm here to answer each and every question that it's burning its way through you right now.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like you should get that checked out,
Probably.
doctor.
Psychic photography is the claimed ability to burn images from one's mind onto physical surfaces through psychic means.
Well, like a HP laser jet type situation,
Yeah.
but it's like in your brain.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna tell you what, you would save on some printer ink because printer ink is not cheap.
So this means your X-Men name would be Xerox.
I'm gonna tell you what, that is useful. Toner is expensive.
That is true.
And a
Amen.
carcinogen. Be careful.
Amen.
Wear gloves.
So I have a lame superpower and I'm going to die early. Great. But listen, 14-year-old me would have been all over this if I'd known about it. You know, I watched Matilda once and thought that if I tried hard enough, I could move shit with my mind. I'm over there with my eyes, like, trying to move shit. I'm, like, blinking and, like, trying to move. My mom's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
All you ever did was bust a blood vessel.
In my
Then you had that weird red spot going around.
Yeah, absolutely. I used to have a pendulum that I thought I could move just by like willing it with my mind.
Fuck yeah, I did that after I saw that shit on Charmed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would hold it and I'm just like, if I can move this with my mind, little did I know that, you know, I have like all of these tiny little like muscle things that like cause me to actually move it. But you couldn't tell me nothing, honey. I thought I could move that. Like I would turn it right, like clockwise. And I'm like, with my mind, I can make it move counterclockwise. Couldn't tell me nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I was the supreme.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, surprise! I never made the pendulum move, but you know, did become a homosexual, so
Yeah.
that's a win for me. I feel like.
Yeah. It's trade-offs.
But psychic photography first became a thing in the late 19th century at the rise of spirit photography, which was heavily rooted in that late 19th century spiritualism.
Yes.
And also greed, because most photographers then were just conning people. A lot of those ghost pictures you see from that period were actually just like double exposures from photographic plates that hadn't been cleaned properly. So you're actually just looking at like an older image of a previous client that the photographer shot, but then had it developed on top of whoever it was they were currently shooting. So, you know, it's important to note that this, what we're talking about, psychic photography, is not the same as that.
As not cleaning your plates
Yeah.
for your
It's not cleaning
old
your
timey
plates.
photos. Yeah.
Your old
This was such a fun period, though. Like the spiritualism, like craze of the 19th century was so fun. You had like the Crow sisters.
Oh, yeah.
You had like the stuff going on with the Ouija boards. You
Uh-huh.
had like a bunch of people doing some pretty racist stuff because basically anything from India was like spiritualism. And it's like, sometimes people are just like, most people are just Indian.
Yeah,
And it's-
lots
and
of
it's
just going to take what we want from other cultures and just completely bastardize them and
Yeah.
and make them our own, quote unquote, our own.
Quote unquote. Just make it weird.
Make it weird, yeah, pretty much.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's important to note that these two are they're not the same, they're different, but they did sort of become popularized at the same time.
Cool.
One of the first books to mention psychic photography was in 1896 by Arthur Chatwood, which is such a name that just hails from academia. Like
Arthur Chatwood.
Arthur Chatwood. But it was in his book titled The New Photography, which I'm pretty sure is the same book that my mom had in like 1995.
That's amazing.
Like, I feel like that's the same. Like, if you ever take a photography class in any community college, that's the book that they assign you. The New Photography.
Mm-hmm.
But in this book, Arthur described experiments where the retina could be so strongly affected by specific images that it could actually produce those images onto a surface. Now,
So I'm sorry. Is the crux of what we're talking about like just being able to like tattoo people with your brain?
well, kind of.
Like, is
yes.
that it?
Yeah.
So like you just go to the tattoo artist and instead of like having needles or anything like that, they just like stare really hard at your fucking like hip and then a
It's-
symbol appears, just a fucking dolphin
Yeah,
jumping through a
it's
bunch
like-
of
It's like
flowers?
it's like having an image of something and then just staring at like a piece of paper, the wall, and then just burning it from your mind onto that surface.
Interesting.
So there was actually this guy called Hereward Carrington,
All right.
who
Is that
was
his given name?
Hereward Carrington.
Yikes.
Tough break.
Yeah.
Uh,
Choices were made.
This Hereward was a huge skeptic and psychic investigator that debunked plenty of these psychic photographs as double exposures or some sort of manipulation. In fact, there are many instances where people claimed that they could perform thoughtography as it started to become known as
Hang on. Thoughtography is on Instagram. Thoughtography is on Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it?
It's on Snapchat too. It's on what? The TikTok, whatever.
Thoughtography? Yeah.
Thoughtography.
The TikTok.
The ography of thoughts.
Yeah. So that's what it started to become known as we get into the early 20th century. In 1910, when spiritualism hit Japan, there was an assistant professor of psychology at Tokyo University who became interested in parapsychology, and he claimed that several of his test subjects were able to telepathically imprint images onto these photo plates. And when he published his book in 1913 called Clairvoyance and Thoughtography, he was immediately shunned from academia for lack of scientific research, and he eventually resigned.
They're like, you just made this up, though. You just made it all up.
Mhm.
Do you have any sources that aren't like you?
Yeah.
Because that's not how we do it.
Uh-huh. So, but there's this woman, and I believe she might have been French. Her name was, I only wrote down Carriere. But anyway, she was a medium who claimed to be able to, and this is what I'm talking about. When you talk about like people getting like funny and like this lady, just listen. She was a medium who claimed to be able to produce a variety of paranormal creatures and psychic phenomenon during her sessions. She was so sure in her abilities, or at least the gullibility of the public, that she allowed many of her sessions to be photographed. This other guy, Albert Freyer von Schreck-Nonsing.
You know, I think at some point you probably just consider like a pen name. I
Yeah.
think
Alf.
a stage
We're
name.
going to call him Al.
if you would.
Al. Good Al.
Al. Yeah.
We're going to call him
I
Al.
like that. I don't think so, Tim.
Well, he was a paranormal researcher and attended many of her sessions and photographed her abilities. Now, the photos that came out of these sessions are some of the strangest visuals ever captured on camera. And in the photos, she is usually shown producing like ectoplasm from her body.
Ugh. Girl, slimy.
Although some photos show her with ghosts are actually just cardboard cutouts.
Oh no! Oh, it's sad.
Yes, she's so supposedly
Oh God.
she had
She's like talking about these creatures that she produces, and it's just her 17 cats.
no cardboard cutouts.
I know, but I added the cats. It just seems like the next step.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it's just her, and there's these cardboard the client's not even a client. It's just the client is a cardboard cutout,
Yeah.
and it's really just her in this room alone taking these pictures
Yeah.
of herself with these fucking cats.
Pretty much.
It's like looking into the future. God, I swear.
She's well. I mean, it's pretty much what we do now. We sit here and talk, and I mean, we can just add cardboard cutouts of people. What if our Facebook group was nothing but like fake profiles that we created?
Yikes.
Ooh.
That's too much work for us.
That's like over 600 people.
Yeah, there's no way we would
have
do
to
that.
that.
No.
But anyway, so she supposedly had an assistant
Your
slash.
listeners are like, am I a cardboard cutout right now?
Am I? We are all cardboard cutouts.
On the grand movie theater of life.
Pretty much.
The grand movie theater lobby of life.
Yeah, definitely. And the people attending are the men in black.
Oh, fuck that. Okay. Yep. No, I just got fucked up. I don't like that. Mm-mm. No.
So she supposedly had an assistant slash lover named Juliet who would prove that the medium wasn't hiding ectoplasm in her, quote, orifices.
How would Juliet prove it? Please tell me. Please tell me. Y'all into some y'all into some weird shit.
Well, she would prove it because they would then have sex after the session.
Okay. Suddenly it's less sad though. Like suddenly I'm happier for her, you know?
Yeah.
Good.
Allegedly, if a member of the seance was interested in sleeping with Carrier, they could join in.
Yeah. Oh, I bet they fucking could. And I bet they were all there trying to see ghosts. I bet none of them were like, let's get this ghost shit over with, boys. I want to see him fuck. I bet that didn't happen at all. I bet everybody's intentions were equally.
You don't think they were fooled by the cardboard cutout?
No, I think they were true paranormal enthusiasts.
And not just there for an orgy?
Definitely not just there for the scissoring. Sure.
But she was, so she was proven to be a fraud in 1920 when it was revealed that she was using...
Just the fucking, like, oh yeah, let me get that ectoplasm.
Now show me again where that ectoplasm was coming out of. I'm sorry, but if you've got ectoplasm coming out of any orifice, you need to go see a doctor.
Yeah, I think probably get it checked out.
I mean,
just
depending on what orifice it's coming out of, go see the doctor assigned to that orifice.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Just go have it checked out.
Yeah.
I mean, can't be good, especially in this day and age where we don't know a lot about like sexually transmitted infections and different things like that.
Oh, you mean back then?
Back then.
Oh, yeah. When syphilis was just rotting people's fucking brains out. And that was like just fine.
Great
it
time.
Was being eccentric. But your brain is just melting.
Yeah.
I wonder if ectoplasm makes for good lube. Do you think it's water-based or oil-based?
Probably.
You don't want the oil-based. You want to use a good water-based.
Yeah, well, I actually prefer an aloe-based.
Oh.
Aloe is a great base for lubricant. I actually prefer that to water, to a water-based lubricant. But if you're having shower sessions, water-based lube is where you want to go. Anyway, It was revealed that she was using cutouts from magazines in her seances, which honestly, to me, somehow makes her more fascinating.
And everybody in the group is like, oh, no, they were cutouts. We thought it was real. We were there for the magic.
I think it wouldn't
We were totally there. We just put up with that orgy stuff just because of the magic. We're scientists.
I just thought she was going to show me some ghosts. I wanted to see some ectoplasm. Well, I heard she had some ectoplasm coming out from somewhere, so I just wanted to see it. I just showed up. I don't know nothing about these ghosts, nothing, but I heard a little something.
I mean, you act like we would not have been there just to see what's going on, because I can guarantee you we would have 2 fucking seats right there, not up front, kind of in the back. We're just going to kind of keep an eye on things.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would have certainly been there.
Just watching. I think it's a great time. And everyone's like, all right, so we good? We got ready to... You ready to fuck now?
About ready to crack into that orgy.
So anyway, that was her story. Quite fascinating. And then as we move on into the 1960s, there was this guy named Ted. He's a former bellhop. Became the talk of psychic circles when he claimed that he could project an image onto film and a Polaroid camera with just a few simple steps. First step was to get incredibly drunk.
Yeah. I can do the thing. I can put a picture on that fucking film. I tell you what you gotta do. You gotta buy me a fucking beer, man. You gotta buy me I gotta get lit to do this shit.
Ted's first step to thoughtography: get drunk. Step 2: start screaming at inanimate objects while making faces at the camera.
Oh God.
Then he would hold his own personal thoughtography tool that he called his gizmo.
Oh, was it?
I don't think it was his dick, but
it seems like it might be his dick.
I don't think it was his dick. He called it his gizmo, and he held it up to the lens of the camera while it was aimed at his forehead, and an assistant would snap the photo. No, actually it wasn't. I did research this now that I'm reading. A few things to keep in mind about him. This gizmo was a piece of paper that he rolled into a tube at the beginning of every session.
It focuses my thoughts. It focuses my thought waves to the camera.
He was...
Buy me another drink.
Wouldn't it be funny if I was like, oh, no, yep, it was his dick.
Yep.
Yep, actually it was his dick.
Confirmed.
So he was...
Maybe that's what he used if there wasn't any paper around.
Maybe. Didn't have a tube. He just had his dick. And that he was also always belligerently drunk. And he claimed that he didn't actually see the photos in his head when he was taking the pictures, but instead he visualized a portal where the photos presumably came from.
And he called it photobucket.com.
And so some of the photos would feature objects like a brick wall or a car, while others would simply be solid black or white.
Isn't the film already solid black?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to check.
So this girl, Emily Hover, whatever, noted that even though it was unlikely that he was transmitting his thoughts to film, it wasn't impossible. Quote, the case of Ted is unique in that he used Polaroid cameras to produce his imagery. Polaroid cameras produce original photographs on the spot, eliminating the opportunity for trickery to occur through printing techniques employed in the darkroom.
Yes, but if you just point the Polaroid camera at a fucking brick wall and press the button, Emily, then you get a picture of that brick wall. What are the odds that Emily
brick in the wall
had sex with Ted?
I don't know.
What are the odds? Do you think?
Maybe.
It might have happened.
Yeah. So those are a couple of little cases where they're a little questionable.
A little. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, definitely. The question and then proven wrong. No. But it's now in the 70s where we kind of hit an interesting case of thoughtography, and that is known as the Belmezz Faces. So it was August of 1971 in the little town of Belmezz, Spain, when Maria Camara, who was a claimed medium, noticed a stain that appeared on her kitchen floor. This stain wouldn't go away. In fact, it would slowly shape itself into what appeared to be a face. A face that would also start to change positions.
I don't like it.
Of course, her husband, being a smart man, said, no. And went and grabbed his pickaxe and tore up the floor
Now,
where the
not that
face
one.
had been.
Probably not that one. You done released it. That's not the one. We gonna move us. We gonna leave the face where he's at.
Yeah.
Let him just kind of look around some.
Well, they laid new concrete on the floor and thought all was well. Plot twist, all was not well. The face reappeared. City officials were notified, at which time it was ordered for the concrete section to be removed and studied. New concrete was laid down. This time, more faces began to appear.
I cannot tell you how fucked I would be. I would move. I would move so immediately. Hell nah. Now you done brought your fucking friends here. Nah. And they move. They change positions.
Yeah.
They like look. They look around. I ain't into that.
Yeah. So
No.
in April of 1972, this professor traveled to Belmezz after hearing about the case. During his research, he discovered several historical documents that spoke of a governor in the 17th century who was born in Belmezz that had murdered 5 members of a local family. The whereabouts of the murders were vague, but believed to have been nearby or even within Maria's home. So, the family agreed to have the floor of the home excavated. Beneath the home, excavators recovered human remains buried several feet below. Many of the remains were missing their skulls. Research concluded that the remains were about 700 years old and were eventually reinterred at a local Catholic cemetery. The family relayed the floors of the home, secured in the thought that they would now have peace. Plot twist.
Oh, nah.
They didn't have peace.
Oh, God. Move, babe. Just move.
2 weeks later, the faces reappeared, except this time,
Oh, fuck.
they were different.
Oh, fuck.
Listen, at this point,
Oh, God.
we're throwing an area rug over it, and I'm calling a realtor.
100%.
We're calling a realtor, honey.
100%.
So, the professor did several EVP recordings in this house.
No. How were they different? How were they different, though? You didn't said they were different.
I'll get into it.
Different how? Were they smiling? I hope they were smiling. Were they happy?
Actually, I think they got darker. So he did these EVP recordings in the house and claimed to hear a child's voice and also sounds which were a mixture of what he called hell and a brothel.
All right.
So
like Bourbon Street?
Yeah, pretty much.
Got it.
Actually, sounds like a great time.
Noted.
Hell and a brothel. So as months go by, more faces begin to appear on the floor. The professor then paid to have another room in the house converted into a kitchen. And, like clockwork, the faces appeared on the new kitchen floor. Now, in 1981...
wait, so he turned a different room into the kitchen.
He wanted to see, yes.
And then the faces appeared in the kitchen. So maybe it's like it's a kitchen-themed ghost.
Yeah, so he was testing out a theory. Apparently
Sounds like
it was
we're going to be
proven
getting
right.
takeout a lot.
In 1981, paranormal investigator Jose Romero visited the home and also claimed to have witnessed the faces appearing in the new kitchen. He returned 7 years later in 1988 and claims that the same faces are there, except they were darker and less defined as before. He claimed that there was some sort of link between Maria and the faces, stating that the faces could potentially change with Maria's state of mind.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
So this led him to believe naturally that when Maria passed away, so too would the faces.
Probably not.
Plot twist, they didn't.
They're like, you ain't fitting to get me out here. But did they try a Mr. Clean magic eraser? Did they try that?
Did they try to power wash it?
Did they try?
Pressure
Did
wash
they
it?
give that a shot? Look, did they spray Resolve pet stain remover on it? Because I'm a big believer in that product.
Amen.
I'll give them a plug with no sponsorship.
Yeah. That theory would be proven incorrect, as she passed away in February of 2004 at the age of 85, and the faces still remained burned onto the floor.
They still moving around?
Well, throughout the years, many people have come to criticize the faces as a hoax, whether it be by paint or some sort of chemical used to create the faces. However, actual chemical engineers who have extracted samples from the floor conclude that whatever it is, it ain't paint. And that with current scientific analysis employed during their studies, there was no external manipulation or quote unquote elements. And several researchers have tried to replicate the faces using different solvents, various acids, and silver nitrate, but all failed to replicate the faces. And that is kind of where you leave off with the Belmezz.
I mean,
faces.
they still there?
Yeah.
Can you go see them?
I think so.
I don't like that they move around and change expression. I don't like that.
Yeah. But yeah, so that is our little story on thoughtography and orgies and ectoplasms and, you know, these weird faces that are burned into the floor.
Yeah, that ended on that. I mean, I don't like that one. That ended on a, no, don't. I thought you were going to say
weird.
like when Maria passed away, like her face appeared amongst the faces. That would have been fucked.
I mean, who's to say that it didn't?
Yeah. Oh, oh no.
Who knows?
Yeah. Be well. Just, you know, that was interesting. Psychic photography.
Yeah.
We should give it a shot. We should try to draw a photo with our minds on.
Yeah. Apparently, so when they did that last research, which was in 2014, so not super long ago.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
like it was current. I mean, you know, like when they talk about current scientific analysis, I mean, it's not that incredibly. I mean, I guess in the world of science, I guess it could be, but like we're not talking about like the 80s or
right.
whatever. So this was in 2014, this forensic analysis.
Yeah.
And he, you know, when they declared failure in their attempt to replicate the faces, concluding the words summarizing his opinion are absolute bewilderment.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the Belmezz Faces are pretty well known. I believe there are a new wave of Belmezz Faces which have appeared in the floors. So we're getting new faces.
I really don't like that.
Yeah.
You remember when we did that story on that doll that started growing teeth?
Oh yeah.
That's how I feel about these faces. It just seems real insidious.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
does.
I mean, you ain't gonna do nothing about it. So I mean, I guess you just got to get comfy with the idea. But
and allegedly, you know, there are some people
glad
that
it's in Spain.
Yeah.
I'm really glad it's in Spain.
There's some people that believe that Maria's son is kind of like the perpetrator and has kind of like continued this as, you know, for some sort of like I guess, notoriety or whatever. And so, you can, research different parts of this, make your own conclusion with it. The faces themselves, though, are actually, I mean, they're like, I wouldn't want to, I'm not trying to see that shit on my floor.
Mm-mm. Oh, no.
Not at all.
Oh, no. That ain't it.
So.
Okay, well.
At least they stayed in the kitchen, though.
Yes.
Yeah, we're back. Like I said, throw an area rug over it.
Call a realtor.
We're good.
Just go on. Just go on. But I don't know. If they were connected to Maria, then they might have showed up on her next kitchen. Damn, that sucks. Take like
Wouldn't
a spiritual
that suck
shower.
if you like redid your kitchen, you've done laid some brand new, nice, beautiful tile, and then these faces didn't come and fucked it up?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well.
I guess you just got to make that the feature point of the kitchen. You know what I mean? We just need to make the kitchen about that at that point. Honestly, I mean, I might appreciate the help like decorating the podcast studio. So
as long as it's not like, I'm fine with the kitchen. Don't show up in my bathroom.
Yeah,
that's me time.
awkward.
That's a me space. Like, I really don't need a face staring at me.
Like
while
on the
I'm
shower curtain.
Scrolling through TikTok indefinitely while I'm,
just taking a break.
Taking a break. Yeah, exactly. I need that space. Please leave it alone.
Yeah, respect that.
So.
Makes me want to do an episode on haunted bathrooms. Anyway, that's it. That's what we've got for you. I appreciate the story. It was fun.
Yeah, I figured it would be fun. I wanted to try something a little light, something that was a little more comedy, since we are a comedy podcast here.
Are
supposedly. That's what we're listed as
here?
Under iTunes, I believe, is comedy.
Sure.
Are we funny? I don't think so. Someone told me at work that they're like, "You're funny," and I'm like, "It's the depression."
I think we might be funny adjacent. I think people might laugh because if they didn't laugh, they'd be sad. But anyway, if you'd like to keep laughing with us, you can find us on Instagram at The Haunted Heart Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at The Haunted Heart. You can find us on Facebook by searching The Haunted Heart Podcast. You will find our Facebook page if you'll drop us a 5-star review if you feel like we've earned 5 stars. And join our Facebook group where we are most active chitting and a-chatting and sharing horror memes, discussing the latest and greatest horror flicks. And do people still say flick? Probably not.
I don't think so.
And just chatting with y'all. It is a private group, so you don't have to worry about your weird delight in the macabre being made public knowledge. If anybody is seeing what you're posting in that group, it's because they're a member of that group. And so to take you out, they got to be willing to go out too. So
amen.
Mutually assured destruction is the best defense. Anyway, if you'd like to support the show, you can find us at www.patreon.com/thehauntedheart. There we've got a bunch of tiers to sign up to become a Patreon supporter. And we've got a backlog of content, of special bonus content that's only available for Patreon members. And we have more of that content coming out soon. And I will just remind you, we are officially in the months that end in BER. And we do have some tricks up our sleeve for spooky season. So
yes, be on the lookout for the tricks.
Don't think we haven't been planning just because we've been down for the count. Should be a good spooky season for all. But until then, keep your wits about you, check your kitchen floor, and stay spooky.